This perfectly describes Komi Can't Communicate. And by that, I mean, Komi Can't Communicate, if I could best describe it, if I had to relate it to food, it's a really nice, refreshing, cold glass, or in this case, cup, cold glass of ice water. You can't beat that. What's up, you guys? Chase the Dark Sage here, and we are back with another manga review for Komi Can't Communicate. Now, I'm gonna say this right here, guys. This is literally the polar opposite of a nasty man manga. This manga is so wholesome that I didn't even want to be a nasty man no more. I know. Wait. Hold on. Let me explain. This manga is just peak wholesomeness. I don't know what's more wholesome than this, and that's entertaining. Now, a lot of series that I've seen online, especially some animes, a lot of them are wholesome, but they're not really fun to watch. While this series right here, Komi Can't Communicate, I'm talking about this series that I bought 12 volumes of. Komi Can't Communicate is such a fun experience, and it's such a wholesome time. Oh my gosh, I cannot explain my love for Komi Can't Communicate. And this is coming from a shonen buff, because usually, you guys know that I kind of like my action. If you guys are a newer viewer, I love my Shonen Jump titles, especially my action Shonen Jump titles like Dragon Ball Z, JoJo, One Piece, Yu Yu Hakusho. I love those series, so for me to be getting into a slice of life kind of romance type thing happening, I honestly did not think I would enjoy Komi Can't Communicate this much, especially since it's not a nasty man manga, which, come on, we know why I love the nasty man manga. So to actually be in love with a series like this, I gotta say, it is really amazing me. Now, I'm not saying that this is the most amazing series of all time. I'm not saying that. But this series really surprised me from the premise that I've gotten from this series to what I actually read and to what I actually think about it. But to give you a brief little synopsis, let me go ahead and describe the series for you. This series basically revolves around the character of Komi Shoko, one of the most popular, elegant, angel, goddess-like characters or creatures to ever hit Earth. I mean, this is God's gift to Earth. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. Komi is so pure, Komi is so wholesome, and everybody in her class, everybody in her school, even the teachers think the same for Komi. But deep down, people really don't know that Komi has a communication disorder, meaning that she really gets crippling, I mean really bad anxiety when she goes to try and talk or communicate to people. And while she doesn't really communicate to people, or she's really not talking a lot like her other classmates, a lot of people think that she has this really cool demeanor, this really stuck-up attitude, that she's better than everyone, even though she's really not. She's actually just a normal girl who just gets really, really nervous when it comes to her actually talking to somebody. In fact, she gets so nervous, most of the manga, she actually doesn't talk. She writes everything on a notepad and shows people, and they read it to see that she's talking. And yes, I honestly thought that gimmick honestly would get so tiring, but it actually does not. And throughout this series, Komi has one goal, and this one goal is established through the first chapter. Her one goal is to make 100 friends. Let me wipe my own sweat off, because 100 friends, I ain't got no communication disorder. I talk to a camera all the time, by the way. But just hearing that you have to make 100 friends, that tires your boy out just from hearing that sentence. But before we get into this manga series, before I give you my thoughts about what I feel about Komi Can't Communicate, I gotta say shout out to my Patreon pledgers for going ahead and financially supporting the channel. I gotta say I highly appreciate what you guys are doing for me, financially donating to Patreon. I gotta say I highly appreciate you guys, and you guys deserve the biggest Dark Sage hug that I could give you. Secondly, I gotta give a shout out to Broke Boy Gang, because when they hear me talk about this series, they probably gonna go out and try and buy all 12 volumes, but they can't because they Broke Boy Gang. But that's alright. Stay tuned to the end of this video and you'll see why. But I gotta say shout out to Broke Boy Gang, because they definitely are the ones showing me love. But if you want to be a part of Broke Boy Gang, go ahead, fix that for me right now by subscribing to the channel, hitting that post notification bell. I need everybody to go ahead, like the video, and share the content as well. In fact, share this with someone who doesn't know what Komi Can't Communicate is, or is kind of weary about actually getting into the series. Go ahead, share this video with those guys right there. And lastly, if you want to follow me on all my other social medias, all my links will be in the description down below. So, let's get into it. So like I said, the simple premise of this series is about a girl named Komi, and basically she cannot communicate, hence the title, Komi Can't Communicate. And she basically wants to make 100 friends. Well, in the first chapter, she meets this literal representation of average dude named Tadano Hito. And I'm not gonna lie to y'all, Tadano, that's my boy. I'm not gonna lie, Tadano is my guy. He might be literally your average guy. He's not really perverted. He doesn't really cuss. He doesn't really get angry. He is actually the first friend that Komi actually makes within this class. And he's one of those people that held Komi in a high regard until he actually met her and befriended her. In fact, Tadano is really Komi's first friend. I know that's surprising. The average guy, basically the main male character, the average guy literally makes friends with this girl that everybody sees so highly of. And I think that actually made for a great reading experience and a fun time with the series, because while Tadano doesn't necessarily have a communication disorder, I feel like a little bit of Komi's communication disorder kind of rubs off on him, because he literally starts to begin to actually develop feelings for Komi, and obviously Komi for Tadano, because come on, he's the main male MC. You guys should know that. But obviously this is not literally said out loud until later on. Hence why she always sticks with Tadano all the time. And you see this early on throughout the chapters, and why Tadano always kind of wants to defend Komi, or kind of interprets what Komi is thinking or what she's feeling. Because like I probably said earlier, she literally writes everything that she wants to say on a notebook, because she cannot muster up the courage to actually speak to people. In fact, every time she does actually speak in the manga, it's very surprising, and it's just a jaw-dropping moment, because they always make her speak in the right times, and it's just so good when she speaks. I'm like, yo, oh my gosh, she just spoke. And I like that they implement that a little bit more within the later chapters, but we're going to talk more about the early chapters, because there are some plot elements that I really don't want to give you guys as a spoiler. But I gotta say that I really do enjoy Komi Can't Communicate. Now, I said this in one of my previous videos, her trying to make 100 friends, and this premise of her trying to make 100 friends, I honestly thought that I was gonna get really tired. I felt like this series would be too stretched out. It would have been too elongated for me to actually really be entertained by this premise. But honestly, the cast of characters is really what makes this series fun. And also the setting mostly plays within some of these episodes actually too. Some of my favorite arcs slash episodes actually happen outside of the classroom setting, like when they're actually going out to eat, when they're going on their field trips, or when they're on their summer vacation. But like I said, the main thing about this series is the cast of characters, and honestly, I did not think I would like this cast of characters that much, because they're in high school. They all have that one certain personality trait, but honestly, I love like every single character that actually gets chapters or quality time with Komi, because they all want the best for Komi, and they all want Komi to grow as a person as well, except for Yamai. Yamai's just a nasty woman, and I like that. I like that. First character we got is Tadano, and he is literally your average dude. He literally makes 75. He doesn't go above the bar. He doesn't greatly exceed at anything, but he is Komi's first friend, and she develops a personal relationship with Tadano over all the other people, because one, obviously he is a guy. Two, he is the first friend that Komi actually makes and Komi actually speaks to. In fact, when I look back on the series, on the first chapter, the first volume honestly didn't catch me, but the moment that Tadano and Komi have when they're writing on a chalkboard, and this is the one time that Komi really expresses herself for the first time, I look back at a scene like that and I'm honestly wowed and surprised that I didn't really catch up or pick up on the subtleties on that scene. Because like I said, Komi is a really shy girl. She has really bad anxiety, but for her first time to open up and she talks so much with Tadano, I gotta say I loved this character interaction. That is one thing that excels within the series, is like character interactions, especially with all the different ways that all these characters actually connect with Komi. We have the second character, and one of my favorite characters in the series, which is Najimi. Najimi is a girl. I want to say that she wants to be called a girl. Najimi is a girl who kind of is like gender fluid, because one semester or 1 year before they actually got to high school, she was a boy, but now this year she's a girl because she dresses like a girl. And I honestly gotta say that when I met this character, nothing against her gender at all, when I first met this character, she's a super social butterfly. She is the exact example of what a social butterfly is. She literally has over hundreds of friends. She fits in many different circles, and when she befriends Komi, she's actually afraid of Komi. She doesn't want to be friends with Komi, because Tadano tries to link Hajime and Komi to be friends, but literally Najimi says no at first, because she thinks that Komi never wanted to speak with her, or that Komi hated her. But all along, like I said earlier, Komi just has a problem actually communicating. So Tadano actually explains that to Najimi. Najimi begins to actually spend time with Komi and Tadano all in the same group, and it makes for a fun time, like I've been saying. We also have characters like Agari or Aragi. I forgot how to say her name, but she's literally the definition of down bad. We also have a character of Yamai, who is literally the nasty woman of the series. Literally, she tries to get nasty moments with Komi, but as soon as she gets into Komi's presence, or she sees something from Komi, she gets pure. She gets wiped clean of all of her sins, like Komi was Jesus. Because when Yamai tries to do the nasty man things, and I respect Yamai for that, because she's a nasty woman, but when Yamai tries to do all these nasty things, or tries to get like a little peeks of Komi, inappropriately, she literally somehow always gets thwarted in her plan. Komi just seems so pure and so goddess-like to Yamai that she's like, you know what? I'm satisfied with just looking at Komi. And those are super funny experiences. Also, I do want to note that Yamai is literally gay for Komi, so that makes for a super hilarious experience, especially when someone else tries to get into Komi's contact or Komi's presence. She really goes off. She even kidnaps Tadano at the beginning of the series because he always sits next to Komi in class. If I could tell you how much I was dying within that scene, you guys just need to read Komi. We also have Nakanaka, who is a cosplayer, or who is, as they say, going through a phase of this whole thing of how she's a superhero or some medieval knight or whatever. She actually befriends Komi, and Komi actually likes Nakanaka as well. And that creates for a funny experience when Nakanaka wants to bond with Komi, but then Yamai wants to bond with Komi as well. And those two just butt head. Oh my gosh. They are literally parallels of each other because Nakanaka is on this side of the social spectrum, and Yamai is over on this side of the social spectrum. And then another character, and the last character that I really want to mention, at least right now, the last character I want to mention is Katai, who also has a communication problem, just like Komi, but everybody thinks that he's a delinquent, but really Tadano, Komi, and all the others are his friends as well. But he literally comes off as this dude who looks super hard. He looks like a delinquent. They kind of see Katai like they was looking at Yusuke at the beginning of Yu Yu Hakusho. And the moments with Katai and Tadano, oh my gosh. They are some of the most sus moments, and when Komi walks in on them, it is literally the worst timing because they are always doing something that looks sus. Like when Katai accidentally tries to feed Tadano. I'm like, yo, this manga can't get any better. And I know I was gonna say this later, but we have to get one of my favorite characters in the series, and I'm talking about best girl of the series. And we got the character of Manbagi. Ooh, we got a gal in the series? You guys know how much I like my gals. And now we have one in the series? And she's basically the gal version of Komi? Oh, y'all know I'm loving it. Like it's McDonald's. But yes, we have the gal character who is Manbagi Rimiko. Obviously, if I'm saying all these names wrong, it's because I never actually watched the series or heard anyone say this. But we have the character of Manbagi, who is the gal of the series. And you guys know I like my gals. But honestly, she is literally the exact same as Komi, especially when they start their second year of school. Because where I'm at in the manga, actually, in the physical releases, they're actually in their sophomore year. And Manbagi, or Manbagi, however you guys want me to say it, she is actually newer in her class because some of the characters actually get switched in the classrooms, obviously except for Tadano and Komi, because you know those two got to stay together in the class. But Manbagi is one of the newer students in Komi's class, and she sits next to Komi because they all have assigned seats. But oh my gosh, the character of Manbagi, oh my gosh. If I could express my love for this character, it would be endless. NANI? FBI, open up! Look, I don't mean love like that, alright? I'm just saying I love the character. I don't love her. Huh? But yeah, all these characters I just named are kind of like the tip of the iceberg. Some of my favorite characters within the series, and some of the characters that really stand out in terms of being Komi's friends. And like I said earlier, the series really hangs on the cast of characters, especially with them making all these funny moments, all these wholesome moments, and all these really bonding emotional moments that I really love, especially when Tadano and Komi are alone together. Those creates for some very, very epic moments. And you guys know how I feel about like the training arc in the Shonen Jump series or like an action Shonen series. You know how I feel about my Slice of Lifes having the festival arc. And they had a festival arc within the first 3 volumes. It was done. It was done right there. I fell in love with the series like after the first 3 volumes. You had the festival arc. Once the festival arc, if the festival arc do not hit, the series will not hit as a slice of life. But the festival arc, oh, the festival, oh, I need you guys to read Komi right now. Like I'm saying, guys, Komi Can't Communicate. I love the setting. I love the classrooms. I love all the hijinks that they get into. And obviously there are going to be some chapters that I hold over more than some of the other chapters, because there are some chapters that I will admit I'm like, we really didn't need that chapter, like when they're playing certain games. But when they actually are bonding, like when they're going on field trips, like I said, when they're going on summer vacation, when they're going to the beach, when they're hanging out outside of school, those are some of my favorite chapters within this series. And especially when Komi actually starts to bond with some of these characters one-on-one, like when she's sleeping over someone's house, or when she's having some girl time with some of the other girls, or like I said, when she's expressing her emotions to Tadano, because honestly, she doesn't know necessarily how to express her emotions now, because she barely already knows how to talk. You think she's gonna know how to express her emotions? And Tadano, the main male protagonist, he also doesn't know how to express his emotions as well, because he hasn't been in a situation like this. So it really creates for a very fun and entertaining experience. And I gotta say, guys, if you have not read Komi Can't Communicate, you need to get on it now. You need to get on it now. In fact, I'm gonna help you get on it now. If you've been paying attention to the video, you should have seen some type of hashtag within the video. I want you to comment that hashtag down below, because I have two volumes of volume number 1 of Komi Can't Communicate, and I want you guys to get into the series because honestly, I really love this series. The series is super wholesome. The series has a great cast of character and some of the greatest moments that I've seen in slice of life as I've been reading so far. But like I said, thank you guys for watching. Thank you for listening to me praise Komi Can't Communicate, because like I said, I really love the series. I know volume 13 is about to come out soon. I'm super hyped. I super love these cast of characters. It feels like every character that you get a name for, they do not waste that character, and they create for some of the great moments in Komi Can't Communicate. And like I said earlier, go ahead, put that hashtag in the description down below so you can be entered for the giveaway. This giveaway will be going for 2 weeks. That's right, guys, I said it, 2 weeks. So if you want your chance to win volume 1 of Komi Can't Communicate, also you got to be within the continental US, because I don't want to really mess with the overseas shipping and stuff like that. Enter the giveaway, guys, so you can experience the greatness of Komi and see one of my favorite scenes that I really felt like I slept on early back then, but now that I really appreciate now in the series. And oh my gosh, like I said, just enter the giveaway. Guys, I want to say thank you guys for watching. If you are new to the channel, you have not already, go ahead, hit that subscribe button, post notification bell. Like I say, thank you guys for watching. Dark Sage out. Peace.